And welcome back to another Travel in Style. Today we're going to take a look at the Virgin Scarlet Lady. So, as always, we're going to take a look in the four categories of embarkation, disembarkation, service, food, and ambiance. Let's begin with embarkation. The embarkation on the Virgin Scarlet Lady is super smooth. You're going to be able to whisk yourself through the lines in about 30 minutes or so. At that point, you'll be able to go to a relaxing lounge, converse with other cruisers, and prepare yourself for what's getting ready to happen over the next several days. So, as far as embarkation, it was really great. The disembarkation, however, was a different experience. During disembarkation, you're going to be asked to line up, and so those who have priorities, they'll be able to disembark from the boat first. But it seemed like on our cruise, those who didn't have priorities thought they should have priority, and they didn't want to stay in the line. And so many of them tried to push themselves up towards the front or cut into the line or make their own second line, which made the disembarkation not a very good experience for us. Also, there wasn't a lot of support from the Virgin Voyages staff, so not a lot of organization there on the disembarkation process to keep everyone in the right areas at the right time. So, because the disembarkation was kind of more of a struggle, I'm going to have to give it overall for embarkation and disembarkation a 7. Had it only been just for embarkation, it would have been a 9. But the disembarkation is going to pull them back a bit down to a 7. As far as service, the room is very clean. The steward kept water in our room. Whenever we, requested, room service, it was there in a pretty timely manner. When we experienced the main cafeteria or restaurants up top, it's not a cafeteria, but essentially it's a cafeteria where you have flipped your flag up and they bring you different foods. The service was very prompt for us up there. Um, Overall, I think the service is really great on the Virgin Scarlet Lady. But the only thing I would make a mention of is we had an issue with a smoker at the adjacent balcony to us. And we made a request down for that smoker to stop smoking. The room steward went to that room and said, "Hey, your neighbor says that you're smoking. You need to stop smoking." And then the steward came back to our room and knocked on our door and said, "Hey, I told them to stop smoking." So, needless to say, it makes it a little awkward when you have that interactions going with your neighbor and the room steward. But overall, they did a good job. Overall, Virgin Voyages did a good job. So I'm going to give them a 9, rate them a 9 for service. Next up is food. So I know a lot of people out here on YouTube have said how great the food is on Virgin Voyages, and I think the food is okay. But I think my issue with the food was that I'm allergic to mushrooms, and it seemed like 60% of the menu or more has some type of mushroom product in it. And so, if you're able to eat mushrooms, maybe it is a really great menu for you. But for me, I wasn't able to eat that many different things. So, a lot of my days I spent eating the French fries and hamburgers. And for me, the Guy's Burgers on Carnival is the best burger at sea, and they didn't have any competition with the Virgin Scarlet Lady. The burger definitely was not as good as Guy's, but I think that where Virgin Voyages really shined was with the test kitchen. If you get an opportunity to make a reservation for the test kitchen, I would definitely implore you to do it. The food is so amazing, and the different textures, the different type of flavors that you'll get from the test kitchen, it really is a notch above all their other restaurants. The steakhouse that we had, it was nothing special. It wasn't good. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. It was okay, and that's what kind of the theme on the entire ship. Also, the food temperature that was coming through the kitchen from the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, the food temperature, with the exception of the test kitchen, was always a little bit cool, like almost at room temperature or below. So I'm used to my food coming out of the kitchen like really hot, but it just wasn't that on the Virgin Scarlet Lady. So because of the mushrooms, because of the food temperature, I'm gonna have to rank it overall for food on the Virgin Scarlet Lady a 6. Finally, let's talk about the ambiance. The ship is a beautiful ship. It's really set up with lots of nooks and crannies for adults to connect and have conversations and just a really romantic getaway. So yeah, the ambiance is really wonderful on the Virgin Scarlet Lady, and their club in Bimini. You know, we were able to get one of the day beds with the overhead, and so it was really a relaxing experience. We had a personal steward essentially provide us with our beverages while we were there. The ambiance is really great. So, and Bimini, as well as the cruise ship, wonderful ambiance. Overall, I'm going to award the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady a 9 for ambiance. So finally, the overall score out of 10 for the Virgin Scarlet Lady, I'm going to have to rank it with everything, considering all the things combined, 7.75 out of 10. 7.75 out of 10, I definitely would recommend this ship. If you would like to go on a ship with adults only, have a little bit more of a adult vibe, this is a great ship for you. And you know, if you're going to travel, you might as well travel in style.